wrote yesterday, so that's fine. But on these records, if they're right, then the records are supposed to show that, that the woman who said there was a hostile working environment wasn't really there. So how could there be a hostile working environment if she isn't there, and how could the governor have seen it anyway if she wasn't there, like she said she was?
I don't know, because I have not seen the records from their time cards and the other information. But she had to, at least even Mary Taylor would have noticed if two of her most senior staff people weren't on the job for the last 3.5 years. So I think she was there for some part of her work day, and that must be what she's referring to. But again, we don't really know, because we have no information whatsoever about this.
I'm confused. Now, I wasn't there on Saturday, but I saw the tweets and I saw some of the statements. On Saturday, your running mate was talking about how this is really bad because these two women were campaigning for the governor on state time, and that's why they're fired. And then today, we're talking about how there's a hostile work environment. So I'm confused on the messaging here. Is this a problem because there's a hostile work environment, or because they were campaigning? And if so, what's the proof that they were campaigning?
We came today to talk about these allegations about a hostile work environment. But the truth is, we don't really know. We don't know what was going on. We don't know whether what was happening while these folks were at work. We don't know what they were doing when they weren't at work, but they were getting paid for working by the taxpayers of this state. So I don't know if they were campaigning on government time, which would be bad. I don't know whether they weren't working at all on government time. I don't know which one of those two is worse. But it should be something that we can get to the bottom of fairly quickly, but no one in the Republican side of the state seems to be interested in doing that.
Let's continue with the phrase hostile working environment. Yeah, is it possible that is referring to the backlash that this employee was receiving because she was found to have not been working the hours she claimed that she was working?
Again, you're asking a lawyer here. Again, we don't know. We don't know. It seemed to me that if you're getting backlash over not doing your job, that's a defense to it being a hostile working environment. So again, we don't know what this employee is alleging. We just know the fact that she's clearly alleging it. She was part of Mary Taylor's inner circle for years. And nobody is coming up to defend her, or nobody is coming up also to say, well, no, what she said is wrong. We're just radio silent and hoping that the taxpayers of Ohio are going to overlook this. As yet, one other thing that happens with Mary Taylor that is just supposed to be water rolling off the back of the duck.
The point is, these are all good questions, and they're all questions that the governor should be answering. They're not.
Yes, absolutely. Where's Sean Kasich on this? What has he said?
Any other questions?
As Lieutenant Governor, what would you do to prevent similar things like this from possibly happening in your office?
As Lieutenant Governor, as anyone who's getting paid by the state of Ohio to do a job, I'm going to need to be, first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be there every day working. And if I'm not, people are going to be able to find me. And I will surely know where my most trusted aide and chief of staff is, and what she and her assistant, his or her assistant, is doing there. So, you can look at these things and say, well, where was Mary Taylor this whole time this was going on? How could she not notice that these two people weren't at work? And the question there is, well, where was Mary Taylor this whole time? And so there's lots of questions. There's questions about, again, going back and back to Mary Taylor. How could the governor pick somebody who can't even run her own office to be lieutenant governor?
And I'm going to preface this by saying I don't know, I haven't made up my mind who this would be more incriminating for. But do you see the irony here in these two women being asked to resign based on some information that was found in a public records request? And it's the same kind of information that Ed has refused to turn over to Northeast Ohio Media Group. Again, I'm not placing that one way or another, but do you see the irony there?
No, here's what I see. I think that the Republicans are trying to, again, do smoke and mirrors to divert from this question. These are actual time records when employees of this state were supposed to be on the job and they weren't. Nobody has alleged that Ed FitzGerald isn't doing his job as Cuyahoga County executive. And so I really think they're two different things, and it's just like a desperate attempt by the Republicans to look at this and say, aha, let's try to divert the media's attention away again to talk about something that's really apples and oranges.
All right, thanks, folks.
The Ohio Supreme Court today said that